Hi everybody, Adrienne here, and today I'm coming to you with the first impression of a new release from Juvia's place. It is the Nudes palette. This palette was released along with 3 other 6-pan palettes on Christmas Day. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. It's got beautiful packaging just like all of the Juvia's place palettes. And this particular palette, let me scoot over so I make sure this is in focus. This is a glitter metallic shade. And this is a matte. This shade is a shimmer shade. This is another matte. This one's a shimmer. And this is a matte. As you can see, the colors in this palette are very light. Like I said, there's 3 other palettes that came in the release. And this palette by itself, if you purchase it, is $13.99. Or you can buy all 4 of the palettes that were released in the bundle for $52.99 on the Juvia's Place website. And one of the other palettes that was released in the collection is the Berries palette. And these are beautiful berry tone shades, very bright and pinkish red. Gorgeous palette. And I will post a link to the videos above right here so you guys can watch these because all of the other videos have already been released to these palettes. And the next palette is the Chocolates palette. This palette looks like this on the inside. And the last palette that was released in the collection is the Violets palette. And these are truly really pigmented, pretty violet shades. So, like I said, these palettes released on Christmas Day, and I did order them on Christmas Eve, and they showed up at my doorstep the Monday following Christmas. So my order came really fast. The last time I checked on Juvia's Place website, all of these palettes are still in stock if you're looking to order them. I'm going to show you guys what this palette looks like on my skin tone, and then I'll be right back. Because the shades in this palette are so fair on my skin tone, you will see the Chocolates palette used throughout my Get Ready With Me because the shades were just too fair for me to get a complete look. So I'm going to have a lot of these colors featured in this video. But after I'm finished creating the look that I'm wearing today, I will come back and give you my final thoughts on the Nudes palette. So for my final thoughts on this palette, and I'm going to turn it upside down so you can look at the colors while I'm talking about it. It turned out to be exactly what I thought it was going to be when I ordered it in the bundle. I knew that this probably wasn't going to be the best palette for my skin tone. This palette is made more for a fair complected woman or a white woman. I would say that Juvia's Place has been long overdue to get some of these shades, and I'm still wondering for the fairest of a white person that this shade might be too dark even still for their skin tone for blending purposes. I do love Juvia's Place palettes because they are so rich and pigmented and dark shades, but I do understand a lot of times people with very fair skin tones have to grab other palettes to blend and soften the edges of their shades to get the look that they want. So it is nice that there's finally something for them to create a look. Me, on the other hand, this palette's definitely not for me. The pigmentation of this palette and the quality of it was excellent. My favorite shade in this palette was this glittery metallic shade here. I have to say that I love this shade and I think it's really pretty, but I don't think it's going to be enough that I would hang on to this palette. I think I'm going to be gifting it to someone that's going to get some good use out of it. Like I said, it is an excellent quality palette. I did really like this for highlighting the brow bone. And these shades here, these two mattes, are very pigmented, and I really did like that about them. But this one turns pink on my skin tone, so it would be okay for a matte look for the lid shade. But I just overall don't feel like this is a cohesive enough palette for me to pick it up and want to do anything with it, because the shade that I use out of this palette here, this matte that's the only medium tone shade, I don't really care for it with this color combination. I think it may look good with some of the other Juvia's Place palettes, but I don't care for it at all in this particular palette. So I know that I wouldn't reach for this, and these two shimmer shades are pretty. I like this one the best because I put this glittery metallic over it. You probably can't see it, but right in here in the inner corner, not the inner tear duct, but right in the very inner corner here where my finger wasn't able to go, I have a little bit of that shade. And as I was putting my liner and lashes on, I thought the shade was really pretty, but like I said, this just isn't a palette for me by itself, and I already knew that when I got it and I started swatching it. I figured I would have to pull in the colors from the Chocolates palette. If you are somebody that likes the lighter metallic shimmery shades, you probably, even with the deeper skin tone, may like to keep this Nudes palette. I don't particularly care for the look that I'm wearing today. I didn't like it at all when I first finished it before I put my lashes and liner on, and I had to get out my big girl lashes, the thickest, most voluminous lashes that I have, to try to save the day with the look, because this is just not something that I particularly gravitate towards. I don't like light shades across the majority of my eyelid like I'm wearing today, and I don't think, like I said, I would save this Nudes palette just for this shimmer shade, even though it is gorgeous. I have some gorgeous shimmer shades like this in other palettes, but I definitely think for the right skin tone, this is a beautiful palette. And for $13.99, you're just not going to find too many palettes that are of this quality that Juvia's Place produces. So I would recommend this palette definitely to a fair skin person. If I had it to do all over again, would I still pick up this palette to do a first impression for you guys? Yes, I would do that, because I knew, like I said, going into it, that the palette probably wouldn't work for me, but I do think it's an excellent quality palette. But I hope this video helped you decide if this might be a palette that you would like to have in your collection. If it did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. You're also going to want to hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so YouTube notifies you every time I upload a new video. I'll see you guys soon.